Hello, YouTube. This is Daniel Marcolongo, author of the Legend of Roven book series, and I'm here on the day I'm supposed to be. Missed last week there. Anyways, I decided I'm just going to talk a little bit about my book, mainly the first act. So, basically, first act is about a guy named Roven, and that's it. That's all you need to know. Anyways, now, basically, the first act is pretty much starts out with one of my favorite chapters that I've ever written. That's kind of why I haven't really changed it a lot, but basically the main villain is introduced in this chapter. His name is Zendal. He basically just, takes over, well, it's in the middle of a battle, so he's kind of on his campaign to take over the continent, so that's kind of where everything gets started. Anyways, Roven wakes up after having a vision of this, basically in his dream. He goes to his guild master and basically just talks a little bit about it. Anyways, the guild master thinks that, well, he's kind of concerned about this revelation, so he just dismisses him for the night, and then, they wake up. Well, he wakes up the next day, and basically you meet his friends, which are like Isthara, Pultur, Grong, and Washi, and then his rival Ivan, and Kral is also, I guess, one of his rivals as well. Anyways, they basically have some shenanigans in the guild where I pretty much go over kind of the daily life of this, and they have a few battles for training and that kind of thing. Essentially, they're just training to learn how to fight and how to use their magic, how to use swords, that kind of thing. Then we go into a little bit later where they start learning about these caves around the mountain. Basically, well, they're basically enclosed in a mountain, just to let you know as well. In the meantime, there's an elf called Sraya who shows up, and basically, not at the guild, but a little bit separated. It's kind of like a little bit of a side story. He's a character that becomes important later. Anyways, he basically is part of the elves, of course, and he basically encounters Zendal coming through the forest, which happens to be nearby this guild, and he, tries to protect his place while this basically stronghold of the elves from Zendal. That ends up going pretty poorly for him, of course, and meanwhile the guild is pretty much unaware of any of these kind of things going on other than Roven having these dreams. So anyways, we go into a little bit later. Roven does end up pretty much kind of exploring a little bit of these caves, and he stumbles upon one specific cave that's a little bit important later on, but that's something for the second act, of course. Anyways, then they go through more of the daily lives of, the guild and everything, and then going into more of the battles, Roven starts to develop some strange and unique abilities that he's not really exactly aware of, or he doesn't quite understand them, of course. Then we go into Sraya after the devastation of his stronghold, and then he has to escape the followers of Zendal, so that pretty much happens, and nearing the end of the first act here, because this is pretty much just a summary of that. Basically, we go into the guild finally pretty much goes under siege from Zendal after he finds out that there's a guild, going after him and trying to stop him from his campaign, of course. So anyways, that's pretty much a very rough summary of Act 1 of The Legend of Roven: The Beginning. Alright, see you next time.